Everybody, Tim and Julie here for another Batman review. For those who have looked at our playlists, we've kind of separated things by the decade just because it's kind of easier. And even separating it by the decade, we've kind of organized it. Like just because it's between 2000 and 2010 doesn't mean we're going to watch it in order, but it takes place or it came out within that year. So we've been doing the classics, we've been doing the 90s, we're moving on into the 2000s, and we're just going to start with the Nolan trilogy with Batman Begins, 2005. Kind of a new direction, very, very different. So you've seen like the a Batman movie from the 60s, you've seen a Batman movie technically from the 80s, you've seen a movie from the 90s, and now you've seen one from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Very different. This one is definitely going more for like the realistic type story. What did you think?
I think right now this is my favorite. I like this one.
Good. Go on. Like, what'd you like?
Because it gets you knowing how Bruce grew up and how he became Batman.
Okay.
And the reasons why and all that. So yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Good. Okay. And that's kind of, I think, what they were going for is more of that like behind the scenes type story.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this movie. I do like that. I think like cinematically, it was very good. I really liked how it looked. I liked the story. I liked how it felt. I love all the actors. There's so many actors in this.
Many good ones.
That being said, some of the things I didn't like, we see, what is it, Michael Killian, I think, it's Cillian Murphy. I don't know where that came from. It's Cillian Murphy as the Scarecrow. So this is the first live action of the Scarecrow we've seen. And then, I can't say it wrong. I'm gonna try to, but whatever. Because we haven't gotten that far in the animated series. So the thing about the Nolan movies is he kind of takes out all of the supernatural feel of Batman and he makes it more realistic, like it could actually happen. That being said, in this movie we get Liam Neeson as first as Ducard. It's gonna make my skin crawl, and then he plays Ra's al Ghul throughout the rest of the movie.
Right.
The big twist. That being said, in the comics, in the animated series, even in the TV shows, I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit. For one, his name is not Ra's al Ghul. It's pronounced Ra's al Ghul. It's R-A''S, so that's why they say Raz. It's not Raz. It's Ra's. It's Ra's al Ghul. It's Arabic because he's and it's Ra's al Ghul is Arabic for the demon's head. So, because in the comics and stuff, he is immortal. Like, he's this man who's been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years, and he basically, like, is able to, long story short, I won't spoil it too much, but he's able to live forever. So they obviously get rid of all that, because that's supernatural type feel. And they change it to Roz, so it's phonetically sounded. It bugs the shit out of me. And they kind of hint at it with this one, like Liam Neeson says, like, Roz is a persona, so he can live forever, and stuff like that. So they kind of toy with the impression of him being immortal. It kind of bugged me. Like, just, they completely changed the character's history. That being said, little minor thing. Lots of actors. We get Christian Bale as Bruce. We get Katie Holmes as Rachel. Liam Neeson. God, Michael Caine as Alfred. I love Michael Caine. Gary Oldman is Commissioner Gordon, or he's not Commissioner, he's Lieutenant Gordon, or Sergeant Gordon when the movie starts. Yeah. Lots and lots of actors.
What's his name?
Morgan Freeman. We
Yes.
get Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. So we get lots of stuff like that. So lots of stuff going on. I don't know, the whole thing where like Bruce like wants to kill Joe Chill, so we finally get that one. He's been like missing for 7 years, declared dead, all sorts of stuff like that. Like you said, we get a lot of the armor stuff.
The building of the bat thing, that was neat. Watching him experiment with pieces of it. Yeah, that was neat.
We get a very brand new type of Batmobile.
Right.
It's so different. And I remember when this movie came out, people freaked out. They're like, "What is that?" And they even mention it in this. They're like, "It's a tank." And so lots of weird stuff like that. As far as the story, I don't know. It's interesting where it's like, oh, we're dumping all these drugs into the water supply, and then magically we can vaporize the water, and now everybody's inhaling it and they're scared. And I was like, it's an overly complicated plot for like a 2.5 hour movie, so it just seems to kind of go forever. That's about all I got. The only thing that, honestly, the thing that bugs me the most with this movie, besides like Ra's al Ghul, is like Christian Bale bouncing back and forth between Bruce Wayne and Batman, because when he goes in the Batman, he goes too hard for me.
Yeah.
Where he's hanging the cop upside down. He's like, "I swear to God." And he's like, "Swear to me." Like, it's so deep and it's so guttural, and it's like it's too much. Like, pull it back a little bit. And people have made fun of him for that. They're like, "Are you trying to speak Bat? Like, what are you doing?" So it's a little bit much, but so that's my spiel on it. For you, 60s, 90s, 2000, we've seen campy, we've seen gothic, and now we've seen like realism. Like, what are you thinking about this one?
Like I said, I liked it. I liked learning and getting to know how he became Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
Like I said, it's probably one of the better ones I've seen.
Good. Okay. I like the ending. Just the ending touches on it. It sets up a lot because like half the criminals escape from Arkham Asylum, so or whatever the asylum is. So it's like, okay, so now how many more villains are we gonna see? It brings up one of the big like psychological factors of Batman. I think we've talked about it before, where does Batman create the villains he's fighting? And Gordon brings it up where he's like, if we wear armor, they get bullet piercing armor. Right. We get semi-automatic, they get automatic. So criminals are always trying to go one step further. And he's like, you're wearing a mask and going crazy. Are you going to make other people wear masks and go crazy? And they've talked about that in the comics. They've talked about that in the shows. Where like, if Batman didn't exist, would Gotham just have regular criminals? Who's to know? But and then of course the Joker card, little shout out there at the end. Yeah. Any other closing thoughts for this one?
No, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Knowing that this is a more realistic Batman, what type of realism would you want to see for a villain? You can't say the Joker because we saw the Joker card.
Yeah, he's gonna appear. I don't know. Maybe Catwoman. Bring her somehow.
Okay.
Bring her in, or Batgirl back.
Okay. I'm not going to confirm her today. It'll be an interesting little, we'll see. Any other closing thoughts for Batman Begins?
No, like I said, I loved it.
Good. Okay. For those who have seen it, this is less of a review. A lot of this isn't so much as reviews. It's just like, what did Julie think? And kind of discussing it. How has it aged? Movie's 15 years old at this point. So for those who have seen it, what did you think? What did you think about seeing Ra's al Ghul? What did you think about the Scarecrow? All sorts of criminal masterminds, Falcone, all that. Go ahead, let us know, and we will see you guys next time for the unofficial sequel, Gotham Knight.